The Sun Valley Media Conference that is happening this week. Disney CEO Bob Iger also there, and he said just moments ago that Hulu's owners are committed to selling the company. Disney is part owner of Hulu along with Murdoch's News Corp as well as Comcast, NBC Universal. Bloomberg's Brett Pulley is there. He spoke with Iger, as we mentioned moments ago. Brett, what else did Iger have to say?
Well, he did indeed say that the owners are committed to selling Hulu. He said the process is underway and there is a lot of interest. I asked him if he, at Disney, would like to have the right to sell that content across other platforms as opposed to Hulu having that content exclusively. And he said, well, I won't comment on any of the aspects of the deal. But it's a great time, as Bob said, to be in the content business. He said especially the branded content business.
Hey, Brett, it's Dominic here. One of the things that we talk about, Betty mentioned the multiple owners that go into Hulu or an enterprise like Hulu. Is there any indication from Bob or anybody else down there that everybody else feels the same way? And if they do, is there a really agreed upon price that they're looking for? Any price tag that they're comfortable with right now?
Well, he wouldn't comment on any of the specifics, but we did follow up with the question of whether or not he thinks it will indeed get sold, and he said yes. So that would certainly imply that everyone's on board with that at least being the preferred route, selling as opposed to IPOing. So it sounds like everyone's in line with the idea of selling.
Brett, I'm going to be joining you in a few days, but tell me, is there any action going on right now? Are you seeing anybody, any interesting meetings so far? Iger meeting with anybody?
Well, I can't say that we've necessarily seen interesting meetings. One interesting meeting last night was not so much a meeting, but at the lounge where people tend to gather in the evenings. Oprah Winfrey came in, and David Zasloff, who of course is running Discovery, where the partner with OWN. They all met in there. Tom Freston, who's on OWN's board and one of Oprah's advisors. So I don't know if we'd call it a formal meeting, but of course not many of the things here are considered formal. Right. But a lot of big things can come out as a result. So that's certainly one that's interesting. There's a big push to get that network moving, I think.
Right, to get the ratings up, essentially.
Absolutely.
They've been disappointing so far. Brett, aside from Hulu, are there any other big topics of conversation there at Sun Valley that you've been hearing?
Well, I don't know that we aren't so much hearing big conversations. Obviously, we aren't in the room. I think the IPO and whether or not there's a tech IPO market right now, whether or not there's a tech bubble, that's something that seems to be among the scuttlebutt. And really, I'll tell you, from what I'm hearing, most people don't really think that there is a bubble. We asked last night, just in a casual conversation, LinkedIn CEO Jeff Weiner whether or not he thought so, and of course he doesn't. And we asked the question of one of the other young internet entrepreneurs whether they thought so, and of course in their world that doesn't seem to be the feeling right now. People seem to think that it's happening as a result of real valuations, as a result of real revenue and real earnings potential. So that's the sentiment out here where
they don't want to believe
concerned.
There's a bubble. They want to keep selling into the
I don't know.
Yeah.
I still have memories. I can still remember 1999, 2001, so I can still remember that window. But, Brett, one of the things you addressed there, the lines between media and technology are blurred beyond all recognition right now. Is there a feeling about who's carrying more weight at this conference, the tech guys or the traditional media guys out there?
Well, I got to tell you, the traditional media guys carry a lot of weight, but I really do think that the content guys are sort of hunkering down now and really recognizing the value of content. And also, some of the deals that we might expect to see, whether they come as a result of this conference or not, are going to be some of the big traditional media companies shedding things that are not really core assets and really focusing on those content plays that they have, which is really what Iger was alluding to when he said it's a great time to be in the content business. I think those assets are key right now.
Right, content, it is key, and all these guys have been trying to figure out how to monetize that content as well. Brett, thank you. Great to see you there. It looks beautiful out in Sun Valley. Brett Pulley, our Bloomberg reporter.